To get the carb out on this, I just made myself a lot easier. I unscrewed all these deals, which this one's actually broke. I think I got some plastic weld, so I'll fix it for that guy. Unloosened all this. I took this boot off, which is laying right here, and make sure when you put these back on, they go on a certain way. This one goes like this. Sometimes they'll have a little notch or something that they'll hook into. I don't really see one on this. Just make sure when you took it out, you know what you're doing. I went ahead and before I took the carb out, obviously I loosened that and that. This goes to the on the back side of the carb. I unloosened the intake screw, and I was actually able to slide it out this way. On this particular carb, you've got that's your fuel line entry. That's a air vent. Goes that tube right there. Choke goes in right there. That's a 12 millimeter. You'll have to unscrew that. This carb actually sits like this inside the bike. Your throttle cable comes through here, and set that piece right down there. There's a little screw that holds that in. Pop that off, and you can run the wire out of there like that. Anyway, get all that out. Make sure your vacuum's still working. I shouldn't slide down real fast. That looks good. I looked at the needle in there and it looks good. It don't look like it's got any crud on it, like bad gas had set. Make sure you take care of that. So I popped off my 4 screws off the bottom of the carb, which are right there. This particular carb has 3 jets in it. I had to make special screwdrivers to get these jets out. I've already had them. I've been doing this a while. And so we're going to use our special guitar string and tactics to be able to get this off, but all these jets are clogged, every one of them. You can't see through any of them. Be careful on getting these out, and whenever you put these brass screws back in, do not hammer them in there. If you put them in there real hard, you're never getting them back out again. You'll have to drill them out. Here's a little special screwdriver that I made. It gets down into those holes really well. Carb's not in real bad shape. I'm going to go get some carb cleaner. I'll use my little Dremel tool and get all that cleaned out for this guy. And we should get this puppy done today. But anyway, get all 3 of your jets out. Float on here. And make sure your needle, all these little edges right there, you'll see 4 of them sticking up. That's what actually slides in that cylinder there. So you want to make sure, I always use my fingernail. I never use anything abrasive because this thing's got to slide up and down all the time. You can even use like a piece of cardboard or something. I would use. I just wouldn't go, or some really high grit sandpaper. And but anyway, get that all cleaned off. There's a little rubber lip right there. I clean it off with my fingers too, and I'll grab it with my fingers, and it'll take 2 hands. But I just put it like that and use my other finger to spin it, get all the crud off of there. I've got some little brushes that go down into there, and you always want to check that out and make sure that seat in there is real clean. This one looks like it's got a little bit of crud on it. I use a little bitty drill bit and I run it backwards, and it'll get clean the lip off of there. Those don't look too bad in there. I'll need to take this one out too, because it's got some holes on the inside, and we'll make sure those jets are good too. The rest of this don't look bad, so we'll get this thing cleaned up now. Alright, I use this where my float needle goes. It'll clean that cylinder out. This is my guitar string. You know I like these. Then I've actually got a jet cleaner kit. I bought that off of eBay for like $2 or something like that. Got the big jet out there, and we'll get to cleaning these now. Alright, so I've got this jet in here. Don't take much. The thing won't even go through there right now. There it goes. Feels pretty nasty in there. Dip it in some of this goop, some of the gas. I got a gas 2-stroke mixture taken out of other bikes. Old bad gas I use to clean a lot of this stuff with. Put your little kink or notch on there, it helps clean it off real good. I don't use anything to tighten these jets down, just my finger. We're not trying to drill into a wall or anything. And that one's still going to need some more. A little better kink on that. Anyway, so get this done, go through all your jets, get your holes cleaned. This jet particularly, I used to have to use that small guitar string on the sides of them, going through these other holes. These will fit 99 times out of 100. They got a little bitty rough deal on them. You can kind of hear that. Even though they always look like they're clean, I always notice a little bit comes off the edges and will sit right on the outside. And this would make it not run 100% properly. So, and then move these around north, south, east, west. So make sure you're getting all of the hole cleaned out there. I don't think this one will fit through here. This one. No. Just won't through that small one. It's always got to be the guitar string. Anyway, cleaned up from there. Alright. Probably ain't going to be able to see that. I imagine I'll never get the angle right. But I can actually see through that now really well. So that one's clean. Got the outside done. Get the rest of them done. After you get them clean, go ahead and put them back in your carb. Don't put them back in your goop. When I took these two jets apart, they actually look the exact same on the outside. But I assure you the one with the bigger hole is the one that is your idle jet. So the one on the left there is your main jet. It goes right in the middle where your plunger is. The other one's your air fuel mixture screw. So just in case this happened to you. Okay, on this one here, bunch of little holes. Like I said, this is that main jet, and you make sure and get all these holes real good. This one's notorious for getting crud. That's our cat. Notorious for getting crudded up. Just leave it alone before it scratches you or something. You can see where crud's coming off the side there. Just make sure and go through this one a couple of times. I can see stuff coming out of that hole. And if you don't hear it kind of being a little bit grindy, see all that crap? Even though that hole looks clean, there's still stuff in it. Do this one a couple times. Like I said, north, south, east, west. I'm putting pressure on it so I know that it's do it from this side and then go back through the other side and put her back together. Alright, on this, just sit there and clean it. No, I'll get it. There's no need to bring milk out here for anything. This is a garage. Mail's here, go get it. I think we're needing. Yeah, we do have some parts ordered. Maybe we'll get them. Try and get that stuff off, but I don't like using any kind of sandpaper or anything on this. I can use a Dremel and get some of that stuff off of that side. But really the main thing is getting these sliders clean right here. These four edges. That's what slides that tube. You don't want any kind of anything on there. Don't mess up that rubber either. You see me scratching my fingernail down there. You definitely don't want to put a gash in that rubber. This is what shuts your gas off. Get that all cleaned up. When you're cleaning this, if you can see right there, there's a little bitty white dot, and that's where that plunger sits and shuts off the gas. If it ain't clean, it can stick, so make sure you get that all, good deal. Make sure you get all that cleaned off too real well. If you have a problem with it leaking, sometimes you can bend this tab. It would be up this way, and that'll help put a little more pressure on your plunger and help shut the gas off. Sometimes they get wore out. Okay, we got all our jets back in. Like I said before, the one with the big hole goes here, the other one goes here, and then that one only fits inside there. I cleaned up my plunger and all that, and I'm going to clean up the bottom of this bowl a little bit. It don't look real bad, but it's got some kind of sediment in there. But ain't chunked, so we shouldn't have to put a fuel filter on this thing either. If there's a lot of crap in there, I always recommend putting a fuel filter, especially if you're building it for somebody else. If they got a crappy ass gas tank and crud in there, you rebuild their carb and that junk goes right through the gas tank into your work, and then you look like you don't know what you're doing. So I do a lot of fuel filters if I see a bunch of junk in there, like there's stuff sitting in their tank. You really can't charge somebody for turning off the tank and make any money doing all that unless they ask you to. And this is the beginning. You can kind of see where we're going with this. I just did half of it to show you what I like it to look like. I want it to be brand new. I use a Dremel. This just got a little wire tip. Used to be a lot better than what it is right now, but it still works. So until then, I won't buy a new one. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that. It looks pretty clean. I made sure I got this overfill straw good and clean too. So we're ready to put this puppy back together and see if she'll run. Alright, carburetor's done. Got it all cleaned out. Normally I'll clean that choke hole out too, but actually this one looks really good. So just had some gas sitting here. I think he said it only sat in here a year. So everything should be good. We'll put it back together, see if she runs. Carb job's done.